Stop right there. You think you can just walk away after stealing from the royal treasury?
Stealing? I was returning what belonged to my family before you destroyed everything we had.
Your family were nothing but lowly servants. Everything you touch belongs to the crown.
You're right. I was nothing, but that was before I died.
What nonsense are you speaking? Guards, seize her. Your Highness, she's glowing with some strange light.
20 years ago, I died in your dungeons as a slave. My crime? Refusing to become your concubine.
Impossible. That girl died of fever.
Yes, I did die, but the moon goddess had other plans for me. My lady, perhaps we should retreat. The palace guards are surrounding us. No running this time. I spent my previous life running from his cruelty.
You're clearly delusional. No one returns from death.
Watch me prove it then.
Your Highness, her eyes, they're turning silver like the moon.
I remember every lash, every humiliation. Every night I went hungry because you found it amusing.
This is ridiculous. Even if you were that slave girl, you're still beneath me.
Beneath you, I am Seraphina Nightbloom, heir to the ancient bloodline you tried to erase. The Nightblooms? But they were wiped out decades ago. Almost wiped out. One survived, reborn with powers that make your pathetic magic look like parlor tricks.
Prove it then. Show me these supposed powers.
As you wish.
The ground, it's shaking. Your Highness, we should leave immediately. Stand your ground. She's just one woman. Actually, she's not alone. Who dares interrupt? Dorian Shadowmere, leader of the rebellion you've been hunting for months. The Phantom Rebel shows himself at last. I show myself for her, the rightful ruler of these lands.
I don't need your help, though I appreciate the gesture.
I know you don't need help. I've seen what you can do. Both of you are wanted criminals. Surrender now, and I might show mercy.
Mercy? Like the mercy you showed when you had my mother executed?
Your mother was a traitor who tried to poison me.
My mother tried to heal your father's madness with herbal medicine. You twisted it into poison accusations.
Your Highness, the other nobles are arriving. They've heard the commotion. What's happening here? Why is there so much noise? Nothing that concerns you. Return to your chambers. That woman, she looks familiar.
Hello, Uncle Roderick. Surprised to see your niece alive?
Impossible. My brother's daughter died years ago.
Your brother's daughter was murdered. There's a difference.
Even if you are, you have no claim here anymore.
No claim? I have the mark of the moon goddess and the blood of the true royal line.
Enough of this fantasy. You're still that same worthless slave girl.
Am I? Then explain why your precious crown is cracking just for my presence.
It's true, Your Highness. The crown is developing cracks. Impossible. The crown is protected by ancient magic.
Ancient magic recognizes ancient blood. Something yours will never be. My lady, perhaps we should demonstrate your powers more dramatically. You're right. They need a proper introduction to the new me.
I love watching you work. It's like poetry in motion.
Flattery will get you everywhere. But first, let me deal with our prince.
Deal with me? You forget your place, slave.
I forget nothing. but you're about to learn yours.
Wait, if she truly is my niece, then legally... Legally nothing. I am the rightful king.
King of what? A kingdom you've nearly destroyed with your incompetence?
How dare you question my rule?
How dare I? I lived through your rule. I died because of your rule. And now I've returned to end your rule.
The walls are glowing now. This isn't natural.
Nothing about my lady is natural. She's blessed by forces beyond your understanding.
Blessed or cursed, she's still just one person against my entire army. Actually, about that army, they're currently dealing with some complications. What do you mean, complications? Let's just say your soldiers are discovering what happens when they serve a false king.
Did you think I would return unprepared? I spent years planning this moment.
Years? You said you died 20 years ago.
Time works differently when you're chosen by the gods. I've had plenty of time to prepare.
The power radiating from her. It's like nothing I've ever felt.
That's because you've never met someone who died and chose to return.
This is all nonsense. Magic like that doesn't exist.
Doesn't it? Then explain how I know about your secret meetings with the enemy kingdoms.
You know nothing.
I know you've been selling our people as slaves to fund your lavish lifestyle.
Is that true, Your Highness? Don't question me. I am your king.
You're a coward who hides behind a stolen crown. Should I prepare the binding ritual, my lady? Not yet. I want him to understand exactly what he's lost first.
I have to admit, watching him squirm is quite entertaining. You think this is a game? I have the power of life and death here.
You had that power. Now you have nothing.
The crown, it's completely shattered now. No, this can't be happening.
This is exactly what should have happened 20 years ago.
Your Highness, maybe we should listen to what she's saying. Whose side are you on? I'm on the side of justice, something that's been missing from this kingdom.
Smart man. You always were more reasonable than your master.
He's not going anywhere. None of you are. I think you'll find that's not your decision to make anymore.
The moon goddess showed me many things during my time between life and death. She saw the suffering you've caused to thousands of innocent people.
I've maintained order. I've kept this kingdom strong.
You've kept yourself comfortable while everyone else suffered.
I remember now. You were different as a child. There was always something special about you.
The bloodline magic was always there. It just took death to awaken it fully.
Even with magic, you can't change the past.
I'm not here to change the past. I'm here to ensure a better future.
A future where people don't live in fear of their own ruler. You don't understand the burdens of leadership.
I understand the burden of being crushed under bad leadership.
The other nobles are fleeing the palace. Word is spreading quickly.
Good. Let them spread the word that the true heir has returned.
True heir, you have no proof of your claims.
I have something better than proof. I have power.
The family birthmark. Show them the family birthmark.
Even without the mark, my power speaks for itself.
Though the birthmark would be nice confirmation for the doubters.
Very well.
It's the crescent moon, the mark of the ancient royal line. Birthmarks can be faked.
Can fake birthmarks make the palace walls glow with moonlight?
This has to be some kind of trick.
The only trick here is how you convinced people you deserve to rule.
Speaking of deserving, what exactly did you do to earn your position? I was born to it. It's my birthright.
You were born to a usurper who murdered his way to the throne.
I was there when your grandfather died. It wasn't natural. You're lying. I wish I were, but I've carried that guilt for 30 years.
Guilt that can finally be absolved. Help me set things right.
The people are gathering outside. They want to see what's happening.
Let them come. Let them see their true queen.
Queen, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Am I? Look around. Your power is gone. Your crown is destroyed. Your guards have abandoned you.
Even your most loyal servant is having second thoughts. I can't serve someone who built their rule on lies. You swore an oath to me. I swore an oath to serve the rightful ruler. If that's not you,
Oaths made under false pretenses have no power.
this isn't over. I have allies in neighboring kingdoms.
You mean the kingdoms you've been secretly selling our resources to? The same ones who've been laughing at your desperation behind your back.
How could you possibly know about that? We have our sources. Turns out your allies don't respect you much either.
Respect must be earned. You've spent years proving you don't deserve it.
What happens now? To the kingdom, I mean.
Now we rebuild. We heal the wounds that decades of poor leadership have caused.
You think you could just step in and fix everything?
I think I can do better than the man who let children starve while he built golden statues of himself.
Those statues always seemed excessive.
Excessive is putting it mildly.
I prefer the term criminally wasteful. Everything I did was for the good of the kingdom.
Everything you did was for your own ego.
The people, they deserve better leadership.
They deserve leadership that remembers what it's like to suffer.
And you think dying makes you qualified to rule?
Dying and returning gives me perspective you'll never have. She's seen both sides now. Life and death, power and powerlessness.
That kind of experience can't be taught or inherited. Fine. You want this cursed kingdom? Take it. See how long you last.
Longer than you did, I'm sure.
Should we escort him to the dungeons?
No. He'll leave voluntarily.
I will not be exiled from my own kingdom.
It was never your kingdom. You were just keeping the throne warm.
Where will he go?
That's his choice to make. But he won't make it here. The magic is compelling him to leave. He literally can't stay.
What's happening to me? Justice, finally.
The land itself rejects false rulers. You'll find yourself increasingly uncomfortable here.
This is impossible. You can't just.
I can, and I am. Goodbye, Lysander.
He's actually leaving. I can't believe it.
Believe it. The rightful queen has returned.
My niece. I'm sorry I didn't protect you before.
You were protecting yourself. I understand that now.
Understanding doesn't mean forgiving everything.
No, but it means choosing what's worth holding on to and what needs to be released.
The people outside want to meet you properly.
Then let's not keep them waiting. They've waited long enough for proper leadership. Are you ready for this responsibility? I've been preparing for it longer than anyone realizes.
And you won't be facing it alone.
No, I won't. That's the difference between me and him.
The kingdom, it already feels different.
It should. The darkness that's been hanging over it for years is finally lifting.
What are your first orders as queen?
First, we open the royal granaries and feed everyone who's been going hungry. A good start.
Very different from your predecessor's approach.
My predecessor forgot that a kingdom is only as strong as its people.
And after that,
we rebuild everything he tore down, starting with trust.
trust. That's been missing for a long time.
It'll take time to restore, but we have time now. All the time in the world.
Speaking of time, there's something I need to tell you.
What is it?
I'm not entirely human either.
I know.
You know?
Death gives you clarity about these things. You're part dragon, aren't you?
Dragon? That explains the unusual strength.
And the way he always seemed to know when danger was coming.
This kingdom is becoming quite interesting. Does it bother you?
Why would it bother me? I'm literally someone who died and came back with moon magic.
Fair point.
Besides, this kingdom needs all kinds of magic to heal properly. Magic and good leadership.
And people who actually care about justice.
All of which we now have.
The former prince, he's completely gone now.
Good. Now the real work begins.
Are you sure you're ready for this?
I died for this chance. I'm more than ready. The people are singing outside. They're actually singing.
I haven't heard singing in the streets for years.
Get used to it. There's going to be a lot more joy in this kingdom from now on.
My brother would be proud.
I hope so. Everything I do will honor his memory.
And create new memories worth celebrating.
Exactly. The past shaped me, but it won't define our future. Our future. I like the sound of that.
So do I. For the first time in years, I'm actually optimistic.
Optimism is good, but we still have work to do.
Where do we start?
We start by listening. To everyone. Even the voices that have been ignored.
Especially those voices.
The moon goddess taught me that power isn't about being heard. It's about making sure others can be heard. Wise words for a wise queen.
The kingdom is in good hands.
It's in all of our hands. That's how it should be.
Together, then,
Together.
I could get used to this partnership.
Good, because we're going to be partners for a very long time. A very long and prosperous time.
To the future, then,
To the future, we'll build together.
but first, we should address the immediate concerns of the kingdom.
You're absolutely right. What's the most urgent issue?
The grain shortage in the eastern provinces. People are starting to starve.
Why is there a grain shortage? We've had good harvests. The former king was exporting everything to maintain his luxury lifestyle.
I tried to speak with him about it, but he wouldn't listen.
Well, he's not here to ignore anyone anymore. Send word immediately to stop all grain exports.
What about the existing contracts with foreign buyers?
Let them complain. Our people come first.
Some of those foreign kingdoms won't be happy about broken contracts.
Then they can discuss it with me personally. I'm sure they'll understand. Your diplomatic approach might need some refinement. Diplomacy is important, but so is feeding our people. We'll find a balance.
What about the tax situation? The burden on the common folk has been crushing.
Tell me more about these taxes.
Everything is taxed. Breathing air would be taxed if the former king could figure out how. That's barely an exaggeration. The tax collectors take 70% of everything.
70%? How is anyone supposed to survive on 30%? They weren't supposed to survive. That was the point.
The former king believed that desperate people were easier to control.
How wonderfully short-sighted of him. Cut all taxes in half immediately.
All of them. That's going to make the treasury very unhappy.
The treasury can cry about it. Our people matter more than gold reserves.
Speaking of gold reserves, you might want to take a look at the actual treasury.
Why? What's wrong with it? It's empty. Completely empty. Empty? Where did all the money go?
Golden statues, imported delicacies, lavish parties for foreign dignitaries who laughed at him behind his back. Don't forget the solid gold chamber pot. That was a particularly expensive waste.
A golden chamber pot? Are you serious?
Dead serious. I saw it myself when we were planning the infiltration.
It's currently being melted down to pay for grain imports. Good thinking. What else can we sell or melt down?
Those golden statues you mentioned earlier. There are dozens of them. Each one cost more than most people see in a lifetime.
Perfect. Turn every single one into coins for the people.
That should help with the immediate financial crisis.
But what about long-term economic planning? We'll need to completely restructure how this kingdom operates financially.
That sounds like a massive undertaking.
Massive, but necessary. We can't keep operating like a kingdom designed to serve one person.
The former king's advisors. Should we keep any of them?
Did any of them speak up about the suffering of the people?
Not that I recall. Most of them were too busy figuring out how to get richer.
Then we'll need new advisors. People who actually understand what it's like to struggle. I can think of several merchants and craftspeople who would make excellent advisors.
That's unconventional.
Conventional wisdom gave us the mess we're cleaning up. Time to try something different.
The military commanders are requesting an audience with you.
About what?
They want to know if their positions are secure. Translation: they want to know if you're going to hold them accountable for enforcing tyranny.
Bring them here. I'll speak with each one individually. All of them? That could take days. Then it takes days. Every decision we make affects thousands of lives.
You're taking this very seriously.
I've seen what happens when leadership doesn't take responsibilities seriously.
Should I schedule the first meeting?
Yes, but first tell me about the prison situation.
What about it?
Are there political prisoners? People in prison for speaking against the former king? The dungeons are full of them.
Some have been there for years.
Release them immediately. All of them.
Are you sure that's wise? Some might be actually dangerous.
Then we'll review each case individually. But I won't keep people in prison for disagreeing with authority.
That's going to be a lot of individual reviews.
Then we'd better get started. You're going to personally review hundreds of cases? I'm going to make sure every person gets the justice they deserve.
That level of attention to detail is refreshing. The palace staff wants to know about their employment status too.
What about it?
The former king was known for firing people on a whim. Usually right before major holidays, so he could keep their wages.
That stops now. Anyone who wants to keep working here can stay. What if they were complicit in the former king's crimes? Then we'll address that case by case. But most palace staff were just trying to survive.
Speaking of survival, what about the former king's personal guards? What about us?
Did you participate willingly in his cruelty?
Some of us tried to minimize the damage when we could. That's more than most people in positions of power did.
Then you're welcome to continue serving if you can serve justice instead of tyranny.
I think I can manage that change.
What about the legal system? The courts were completely corrupted. How bad is it?
Verdicts were bought and sold like commodities.
Then we need entirely new judges.
Where are you going to find incorruptible judges?
From the people who've suffered under the corrupt system. You want to appoint commoners as judges? I want to appoint people who understand the value of real justice.
That's another unconventional approach.
I'm starting to think conventional approaches are overrated.
The neighboring kingdoms are going to be very interested in these changes.
Let them be interested. Maybe they'll learn something.
Some of them might see this as weakness.
Let them try to take advantage of what they perceive as weakness. They'll discover their mistake quickly. You sound confident about defending the kingdom. I have advantages the former king never had.
You mean the magic?
I mean the loyalty of people who actually want to protect their homeland.
As opposed to people who were forced to fight for someone they despised. That's a significant strategic advantage.
It's the most important advantage any ruler can have. Speaking of advantages, we should discuss your personal security. What about it? You're making a lot of powerful enemies with these changes.
She's right. Some nobles are going to lose everything from your reforms.
Good. They built their fortunes on other people's suffering.
But they're not going to go quietly.
I didn't come back from the dead to go quietly either.
You'll need bodyguards you could trust completely.
I trust the people in this room.
That's flattering, but we can't be everywhere at once.
We need to expand your security team carefully. Suggestions?
Start with people from the rebellion. They've already proven they're willing to fight for justice. And some of the former political prisoners once they're released.
People who survived the former king's dungeons would certainly be motivated to prevent a return to tyranny.
Should we begin recruitment immediately?
Yes, but be selective. I'd rather have fewer guards I can trust than many I can't. What about intelligence gathering? We need to know what your enemies are planning. Do we have any existing spy networks we can use?
The former king had spies, but they were mostly used to terrorize his own people. Some merchants and traders might be willing to share information.
Approach them carefully. I don't want to recreate the former king's paranoid surveillance state.
But some level of intelligence gathering is necessary for security.
Agreed. Just keep it focused on actual threats, not on controlling what people think. That's a fine line to walk. Most worthwhile things require walking fine lines.
Speaking of walking lines, what's your position going to be on magic?
What do you mean?
The former king banned most magical practices. Are you going to lift those restrictions?
Immediately. Magic is a natural part of this world.
Some people are going to be nervous about that.
Why?
Fear of the unknown. Decades of propaganda about dangerous magic.
It'll take time to change people's minds. Then we'll take that time. Education is better than prohibition anyway.
What about magical education? Should we reopen the old academies?
Absolutely. Knowledge should never be forbidden.
That's going to make certain neighboring kingdoms very nervous.
Kingdoms that rely on keeping their people ignorant should be nervous. You're really committed to complete transformation, aren't you? Half measures won't fix the problems we're inheriting.
It's ambitious.
It's necessary.
The people outside are getting restless. They want to hear from you directly.
Then let's go address them.
Are you ready to make your first public appearance as queen?
I've been ready for 20 years. What are you going to tell them? The truth. They deserve to know what we're planning and why.
Truth in politics. Another unconventional approach.
I died because of political lies. I'm not interested in perpetuating that tradition.
Should we prepare a speech for you?
No.
I want to speak from the heart.
That's brave.
It's honest. There's a difference. The crowd is quite large. Word is spread throughout the city.
Good.
The more people who hear this directly from me, the better.
Are you nervous?
No.
Excited, maybe, but not nervous.
Why excited?
This is the first step toward everything I've been working toward.
Everything we've been working toward.
You're right. This isn't just my victory. It belongs to everyone who suffered under the old regime. And everyone who fought to change it.
Should we head to the balcony then?
Yes.
It's time to begin the real work.
The crowd is cheering already. They can see you through the windows.
Then let's not keep them waiting any longer.
After you, Your Majesty.
That's going to take some getting used to. You'll adapt. You always have.
True.
But this feels different.
Because this time you're not adapting to survive. You're adapting to lead.
Exactly.
The balcony doors are open. The crowd can see you now.
My people, I know many of you have questions about what happened here today.
Listen to that response. They're hungry for leadership they can believe in.
20 years of waiting for this moment. I am Seraphina Nightbloom, and I have returned to reclaim what was stolen from all of us.
The crowd is absolutely silent. They're hanging on every word.
The tyrant who ruled over you is gone. His reign of cruelty and greed has ended forever.
The cheering is deafening.
Starting tomorrow, we begin rebuilding this kingdom into something worthy of your loyalty.
You can feel the hope in the air.
It's been so long since people had reason to hope. No more crushing taxes. No more children going hungry while palaces overflow with gold.
They're crying. Look at them. They're actually crying with relief.
Every voice will be heard. Every life will matter. This kingdom belongs to all of us.
I've never seen anything like this response. This is what happens when people finally believe change is possible.
Together, we will build a future worth living, a future worth fighting for. The crowd is chanting your name.
No, listen carefully. They're chanting hope.
We have work to do, but we will do it together, and we will succeed.
That was incredible. You were born for this.
Actually, I died for this, but I suppose the result is the same. The crowd isn't dispersing. They want to keep listening.
Should you say more?
No. Better to leave them wanting more than to exhaust their attention.
Very wise. So what's our first priority tomorrow?
We start with the grain distribution. People need to eat while we plan everything else. And the tax situation? Second priority. People need to keep more of what they earn.
What about the political prisoners?
That happens today before sunset. No one spends another night in prison for the crime of dissent.
I'll see to it personally. And the corrupt officials?
Case-by-case review. Justice, not vengeance. You're making a clear distinction between the two. I learned the difference between justice and vengeance the hard way.
How do you mean?
When I first returned, I wanted to make everyone who hurt me suffer exactly as I had suffered.
That sounds reasonable.
It sounds like becoming the same kind of monster I was fighting against.
So you chose a different path.
I chose the path that actually leads somewhere better. That takes incredible strength. It takes perspective. Dying and coming back gives you a lot of perspective.
What was it like? Being dead, I mean.
Peaceful at first, then frustrating when I realized how much work was left undone.
Is that when you decided to return?
The moon goddess offered me a choice: rest or return.
Why did you choose to return?
Because rest felt selfish when so many people were still suffering. And now we make sure that suffering ends with our generation.
That's quite an ambition.
Ambitious goals require ambitious people.
Speaking of ambitions, what about your personal life?
What about it?
Will you marry? Have heirs? That's rather personal, don't you think?
It's a fair question. The kingdom needs stability. But it doesn't need to be rushed. No, it doesn't. I have time to figure out what kind of personal life fits with ruling a kingdom.
The right partner would make the burden lighter.
Or heavier, if they're the wrong partner.
True. Trust is essential in any partnership.
Trust, respect, shared values. The same things that make any relationship work.
Those aren't easy to find in royal circles.
Then maybe I won't limit myself to royal circles. Another unconventional approach. Unconventional seems to be working for us so far.
Your father would have approved of your pragmatism.
I hope so. I'm trying to honor his memory while learning from his mistakes.
What mistakes did he make?
He trusted the wrong people. He assumed everyone around him shared his good intentions.
An easy mistake for good people to make.
Yes, but a costly one. I won't repeat it. How will you avoid it? By paying attention to actions, not just words.
And by surrounding yourself with people who will tell you the truth.
Exactly. I need advisors who will argue with me when I'm wrong.
That's not going to be comfortable.
Comfort is overrated. Effectiveness matters more.
The sun is setting. Should we head inside?
In a moment, I want to watch the sunset from our balcony. Our balcony. That has a nice ring to it.
This time yesterday, none of us imagined we'd be standing here. This time yesterday, we were still planning how to infiltrate the palace.
And now we own it.
Own it and everything that comes with it.
Including all the problems we need to solve. Are you having second thoughts? About taking on this responsibility? Never.
Even though it's going to be incredibly difficult?
Especially because it's going to be difficult. Anything worth doing is difficult.
You sound like you're looking forward to the challenges.
I am. I've spent 20 years preparing for them.
Then let's go inside and start planning our next moves.
Good idea. Tomorrow is going to be a very busy day. The first of many busy days. The first of many rewarding days.
To new beginnings, then.
To justice finally served.
And to the future we're going to build together.
Together. Wait, everyone. Before we rest, there's something else we need to discuss.
What is it?
The former king's personal records. I found something disturbing in his private chambers. What kind of records? Lists of people he planned to eliminate. Names, dates, methods. Some of the planned executions were scheduled for next week.
Next week, he was planning to kill more people even after everything that happened?
According to these documents, yes. Dozens of people were marked for death.
Who were the targets?
Merchants who refused to pay his illegal taxes. Farmers who complained about land seizures. Teachers who wouldn't stop educating children about their rights.
Teachers were on his execution list.
Apparently, education was seen as a threat to his authority. How many teachers? 17, all scheduled to die within the month.
That's monstrous.
It gets worse. There are detailed plans for framing these executions as accidents or natural deaths.
He was going to cover up mass murder.
He'd been covering up mass murder for years. These records go back 2 decades.
2 decades of secret executions.
Hundreds of names. Hundreds of people who simply disappeared. Their families never knew what really happened to them. Their families were told they died of disease or accidents, or that they simply left the kingdom.
We need to tell those families the truth.
Yes, but carefully. This information will be devastating for many people.
How do we handle something like this?
With compassion and complete honesty. These families deserve to know what happened to their loved ones.
What about justice for the victims?
We'll establish a formal investigation. Document everything. Make sure the truth is recorded for history. And for the families who want answers? We'll provide those answers, along with whatever support we can offer.
Support like what?
Financial assistance for families who lost breadwinners. Public acknowledgement of their loved one's courage. Formal apologies from the government.
Government apologies?
The kingdom owes these people more than we can ever repay.
What about the people who carried out these executions?
That's more complicated. How so? Some of them are still alive, still in positions of authority.
You mean some of our current officials are murderers?
According to these records, yes.
How many?
At least 12 that I've identified so far.
12 murderers currently serving in government positions?
12 people who followed orders to kill innocent citizens. What are you going to do about them? Remove them from positions of power immediately. Then investigate each case individually.
And if the investigations confirm their guilt?
Then they'll face justice. Real justice, not the pretend justice they helped enforce.
This is going to cause chaos in the government.
Good. Better chaos than allowing murderers to continue serving.
How are you going to replace 12 officials overnight?
We'll promote people from lower positions who have clean records. What if there aren't enough clean candidates? Then we'll leave positions empty until we find suitable people.
Empty positions could cause administrative problems.
Administrative problems are less important than moral problems.
You're really going to prioritize ethics over efficiency?
Every time.
That's going to make governing more difficult.
Governing should be difficult. Easy governing usually means someone else is paying the price. What about the evidence? How do we preserve it? Multiple copies, stored in different locations. This information is too important to risk losing.
Should we make it public immediately?
Not immediately. Let's notify the affected families first.
That's going to be a massive undertaking.
Then we'll make it a priority.
How do you even begin a process like that?
Carefully, with trained counselors present, with complete documentation. Trained counselors? People who can help families process this information. This kind of revelation can be traumatic.
Where we find trained counselors?
From the healers and wise women who've been helping people cope with loss for years.
The same people the former king tried to eliminate?
Exactly. They understand both healing and injustice.
What about legal proceedings for the perpetrators?
Fair trials. Due process. Everything the victims were denied. Even though we know they're guilty? Especially because we know they're guilty. Justice means doing things the right way.
What if some of them try to flee the kingdom?
Then we'll track them down and bring them back to face justice.
Track them down how?
However necessary. Murder doesn't have a statute of limitations.
You sound very determined about this.
I am very determined about this. Because of what happened to you? Because of what happened to everyone. I survived. Hundreds of others didn't.
You feel responsible for seeking justice for them?
I feel responsible for making sure their deaths weren't meaningless.
How do you make murder meaningful?
By ensuring it never happens again. By building a system that protects people instead of preying on them.
That's a heavy burden to carry.
It's a burden I chose when I chose to return from death. Do you ever regret that choice? Not for a second.
Even knowing how difficult this will be.
Especially knowing how difficult this will be.
Why especially?
Because difficult work usually means important work.
You really believe that?
I know that. Easy solutions don't fix hard problems. What about the practical challenges of implementing all these changes? What specific challenges are you thinking about?
Resistance from people who benefited from the old system.
We'll address that resistance as it comes.
Some of that resistance might be violent.
Then we'll be prepared to defend ourselves and the people we're protecting.
Prepared how?
With loyal guards, strong defenses, and the support of people who want justice. What if the resistance is more organized than we expect? Then we'll organize better.
You make it sound simple.
The principles are simple. The execution is complicated.
What are the principles?
Protect the innocent. Punish the guilty. Build something better.
And the complicated execution?
Figuring out exactly who is innocent, who is guilty, and what better looks like. Those are big questions. With big consequences. That's why we have to get them right.
What if we make mistakes in those determinations?
Then we acknowledge the mistakes and correct them.
What if the mistakes cause harm?
Then we take responsibility for that harm and do whatever we can to address it.
You're talking about a level of accountability that's rare in government.
Maybe that's why government fails people so often. You think accountability would make government more effective? I think accountability would make government more trustworthy.
And trustworthy government is more effective?
In the long run, yes.
What about short-term effectiveness?
Short-term effectiveness often undermines long-term success.
How so?
Quick fixes that ignore underlying problems usually create bigger problems later. So you're willing to accept short-term difficulties for long-term benefits? Every time.
That requires a lot of patience from everyone involved.
Then we'll work on developing patience.
How do you teach patience to people who are suffering now?
By addressing their immediate suffering while building permanent solutions.
Both simultaneously?
Both simultaneously. That's going to require enormous resources. Then we'll find enormous resources.
Where?
From the wealth that's been hoarded by people who didn't earn it honestly.
You mean seizing assets from corrupt officials?
I mean recovering assets that were stolen from the people in the first place.
That's going to require legal proceedings.
Good. Legal proceedings create precedents for future cases. You want to establish that corruption has consequences? I want to establish that corruption has serious consequences.
What kind of consequences?
Loss of position, loss of ill-gotten wealth, public accountability, and where appropriate, imprisonment.
You're not talking about executions?
No. Death is too easy. I want corrupt officials to live with the consequences of their actions.
That's more punishment than death.
That's more justice than death. How do you mean? Dead people can't make amends. Living people can work to repair the damage they caused.
You want them to actively work for restoration?
I want them to contribute to fixing what they broke.
That's an interesting approach to justice.
It's a productive approach to justice.
What if some of them refuse to cooperate?
Then they can refuse from prison cells. You'd imprison people for refusing to make amends? I'd imprison people for choosing to remain harmful to society.
So cooperation would reduce their sentences?
Meaningful cooperation would reduce their sentences.
What counts as meaningful cooperation?
Actions that actually help repair damage, not just empty gestures.
Who determines what counts as meaningful?
The people who were harmed by their actions. The victims get to evaluate their former oppressors' attempts at redemption. The victims get a voice in determining what justice looks like.
That's unprecedented.
Maybe that's why justice has been so elusive.
You think involving victims in justice decisions will improve outcomes?
I think involving victims in justice decisions will make outcomes more just.
What about cases where the victims are dead?
Then their families speak for them. And if the families are also dead, then the community speaks for them.
You're really committed to this inclusive approach.
I'm committed to justice that actually serves people rather than institutions.
What's the difference?
Institutional justice protects the system. People-centered justice protects individuals.
Can't you have both?
Only if the system actually serves people. Otherwise, they conflict. And our current system doesn't serve people? Our current system served one person, the former king.
So we're building an entirely new system?
We're building a system that serves everyone.
That's incredibly ambitious.
Good. Small ambitions lead to small results.
What if your ambitions are too big to achieve?
Then we'll achieve as much as we can and let others continue the work. You're thinking beyond your own lifetime? I'm thinking about the kind of world I want to leave behind.
Most rulers think about the kind of world that will remember them favorably.
I don't care if anyone remembers me. I care if the work continues.
That's remarkably selfless.
It's remarkably practical. Dead rulers can't fix problems.
But they can create institutions that outlast them.
Exactly. What kind of institutions do you want to create? Institutions that empower people to solve their own problems.
Rather than institutions that solve problems for people.
Rather than institutions that claim to solve problems while actually creating them.
You don't trust government to solve problems effectively?
I don't trust any single institution to solve all problems effectively.
So you want to distribute problem-solving power?
I want to distribute problem-solving resources and let people use them creatively. That requires trusting people to make good decisions. People make better decisions about their own lives than distant bureaucrats do.
What about decisions that affect multiple communities?
Those require coordination between communities.
Facilitated by government?
Facilitated by whatever institutions the communities choose to create.
You're talking about a very decentralized approach to governance.
I'm talking about governance that actually governs rather than just controlling. What's the difference? Governance helps people manage their collective affairs. Control tells people what they're allowed to do.
And you want to focus on governance over control?
I want to focus on enabling people to thrive.
That's a beautiful goal.
It's a practical goal.
How do you measure whether people are thriving?
By listening to what they tell you about their lives. Not by looking at statistical measures. Statistics are useful, but they don't tell you everything.
What do you mean?
You can have good economic numbers while people are miserable. You can have orderly cities while people are terrified.
So you want to measure both objective conditions and subjective experiences?
I want to pay attention to what actually matters to people.
Which is?
Safety, dignity, opportunity, community, meaning. Those are hard to quantify. The most important things usually are.
How do you create policies around unquantifiable goals?
By involving people in policy creation and asking them what they need.
Directly involving citizens in policy making?
As much as possible, yes.
That's going to be complicated to organize.
Democracy usually is complicated. You're moving toward democracy? I'm moving toward whatever system actually serves people best.
And you think that's democracy?
I think that's people having a meaningful voice in decisions that affect their lives.
Which might be democracy, or it might be something else.
Which might be something we haven't invented yet.
You're open to inventing new forms of government?
I'm open to whatever works. How will you know what works? By trying things and measuring the results.
What kind of measurements?
Are people healthier? Are they happier? Are they safer? Do they have more opportunities?
Those are good measures.
They're human measures.
As opposed to?
As opposed to measures that only matter to institutions or elites. Like what? Military strength, tax revenue, international prestige.
Those things don't matter?
They matter if they serve people's well-being. They don't matter if they serve vanity or power.
That's a clear distinction.
It's an important distinction.
What about situations where those different priorities conflict?
Then we choose people's well-being over institutional pride. Even if it makes the kingdom appear weak to other nations? A kingdom where people are thriving is never actually weak.
How do you figure?
Thriving people defend their homes fiercely. Oppressed people often welcome invaders.
So, treating people well is actually good strategy?
It's the best strategy.
Why don't more rulers understand that?
Because more rulers are concerned with personal power than national strength. And personal power conflicts with people's well-being? When power becomes an end in itself rather than a means to serve people.
So the key is keeping power focused on service?
The key is remembering that power is only legitimate when it serves justice.
How do you maintain that focus over time?
By surrounding yourself with people who will remind you when you forget.
People like us?
People like you and people unlike you. Unlike us how? People who've had different experiences, different perspectives, different priorities.
You want advisors who disagree with you?
I want advisors who will tell me when I'm wrong.
That's going to make decision-making more complicated.
Good decisions are usually complicated.
What about situations that require quick decisions?
Then we make quick decisions and evaluate them afterward. And if the quick decisions turn out to be wrong, then we admit they were wrong and do better next time.
You're really not afraid of making mistakes.
I'm terrified of making mistakes, but I'm more terrified of not making decisions when people need help.
So you'll risk being wrong to avoid being paralyzed?
I'll risk being wrong to avoid letting people suffer while I deliberate.
That's a heavy responsibility.
It's the responsibility I chose. Do you ever wish you could return to being powerless? No. Powerlessness didn't protect me or anyone else.
But powerlessness also meant you weren't responsible for other people's welfare.
I was always responsible for other people's welfare. Now I finally have the ability to do something about it.
That's an interesting way to think about responsibility.
It's the only way that makes sense to me.
Now I really think we should get some rest.
Yes. Tomorrow is going to be the first day of everything we've been talking about. Are you nervous? I'm excited.
Even with all the challenges we've discussed?
Especially with all the challenges we've discussed.
Why?
Because challenging work is usually meaningful work.
And meaningful work is satisfying work.
Exactly. Even when it's difficult. Especially when it's difficult.
You really are remarkable.
We really are remarkable.
Together.
Always together.
Good night, everyone.
Sleep well.
See you at dawn.
At dawn, we begin. Actually, there's one more issue we need to address tonight. What is it? The former king's secret prison. We found it hidden beneath the palace.
Secret prison?
A complex of cells where he kept people he wanted to disappear without officially arresting them.
How many people are down there?
23. Some have been imprisoned for years without trial or charges. 23 people? We need to get them out immediately.
Some of them might be dangerous.
And some of them might be innocent. We'll sort that out after we get them proper food, medical care, and legal representation.
What kind of conditions are they being held in?
Deplorable. No sunlight, minimal food, no contact with the outside world. That ends tonight.
Tonight?
Right now. Get healers, get food, get clean clothes. I want every one of those people treated with dignity.
Even if some of them are actual criminals?
Especially if some of them are actual criminals. Justice means treating everyone humanely.
Should we question them tonight?
No questioning until they've recovered physically and mentally from their imprisonment. How long will that take? However long it takes. Rushed justice isn't justice at all.
What if some of them have information about other crimes or conspiracies?
Then they'll share that information when they're ready and able to do so freely.
That could take weeks or months.
Then it takes weeks or months.
You're putting justice ahead of efficiency again.
I'm putting humanity ahead of convenience. What about security concerns? What about them?
Some of these prisoners might have been locked up for good reasons.
Then we'll discover those reasons through proper legal procedures.
Not through secret imprisonment and torture.
Never through secret imprisonment and torture.
What if investigating these cases reveals more corruption in our justice system?
Good. We need to know how deep the corruption goes. Even if it means discovering that most of our current judges are compromised. Especially if it means discovering that.
You're prepared to completely rebuild the entire legal system?
I'm prepared to do whatever is necessary to ensure that justice actually serves justice.
That's going to take years.
Important work usually does.
What about the immediate practical problems?
Such as? Who's going to handle legal cases while we're rebuilding everything? Honest people with common sense, guided by principles of fairness and compassion.
Instead of trained lawyers and judges?
Instead of corrupted lawyers and judges.
You'd rather have untrained honest people than trained dishonest people?
Every time.
What if the honest people make mistakes due to lack of training?
Then we'll train them while they're learning. That's risky. Less risky than continuing to use a system that we know is corrupt.
How do you know the new people won't become corrupt over time?
We don't. That's why we build in accountability mechanisms and regular review processes.
You mean ongoing oversight?
I mean ongoing transparency.
What's the difference?
Oversight implies watching for problems. Transparency means making everything visible so problems can't hide. That sounds like it would require a lot of administrative work. Less work than fixing problems after they've become entrenched.
You really believe prevention is easier than correction?
I know prevention is easier than correction.
How do you know that?
Because I've seen what happens when problems are allowed to fester for decades.
Like what happened to this kingdom under the former king.
Exactly. So transparency is both ethically right and practically efficient? In the long run, yes.
What about short-term costs?
Short-term costs that prevent long-term disasters are investments, not expenses.
That requires thinking beyond immediate political pressures.
It requires thinking beyond immediate personal benefit.
Which most political leaders struggle with.
Which most political leaders choose not to do. You think they're capable of long-term thinking, but choose not to engage in it? I think they're incentivized to focus on short-term gains that benefit them personally.
And you're going to change those incentives?
I'm going to eliminate personal benefit as a motive for political decisions.
How?
By making all political benefits public and temporary.
What do you mean by that?
No private wealth accumulation through political office. No permanent positions. No secret deals. You want to make political service genuinely about service? I want to make political service unattractive to people who are motivated by personal gain.
That might make it hard to attract capable people to government positions.
Or it might attract people who are motivated by public benefit rather than personal advancement.
You think there are enough such people to staff a government?
I think there are more such people than our current system allows us to discover.
Because the current system rewards the wrong motivations?
Because the current system actively discourages people with good motivations. How does it discourage them? By making it clear that corruption is tolerated and integrity is punished.
So, changing the incentive structure might attract different types of people.
Changing the incentive structure will definitely attract different types of people.
What if those people are less capable administrators?
What if they're more capable because they're actually motivated to solve problems rather than to exploit them?
That's an interesting hypothesis.
It's a testable hypothesis. You want to experiment with government structure? I want to try approaches that haven't failed yet.
As opposed to approaches that have already proven inadequate?
Exactly.
That's a reasonable scientific approach to governance.
Government should be evidence-based, just like everything else.
What about tradition and established wisdom?
What about them? Some traditional approaches might have value, even if they're not perfect. Then we'll test them and keep the parts that actually work.
And abandon the parts that don't work?
Without hesitation.
Even if abandoning them is politically difficult?
Especially if abandoning them is politically difficult.
Why especially?
Because political difficulty usually means entrenched interests that benefit from dysfunction. And entrenched interests are precisely what you're trying to overcome. Entrenched interests are what I'm trying to replace with public interests.
How do you distinguish between entrenched interests and legitimate stakeholder concerns?
By looking at who benefits from the status quo and who suffers from it.
That's a clear test.
It's the most important test.
What about situations where the analysis isn't so clear-cut?
Then we dig deeper until it becomes clear. And if it never becomes clear, then we err on the side of protecting people who have less power.
Why that direction rather than the other direction?
Because people with more power can protect themselves. People with less power need systemic protection.
That's a consistent principle.
Consistency is important in governance.
What about flexibility and adaptation?
Consistency in principles allows for flexibility in methods. How so? If your goal is always to protect the vulnerable, you can try many different ways of achieving that goal.
But if your goal changes based on circumstances, you lose coherence?
You lose trustworthiness.
Trust again.
Trust is the foundation of legitimate governance.
What about fear and respect?
Fear and respect without trust are temporary. And trust without fear and respect. Trust without fear is ideal. Trust without respect is impossible.
So you want to be trusted and respected, but not feared?
I want the office to be trusted and respected, regardless of who holds it.
You're thinking institutionally rather than personally?
I'm thinking about what will outlast me personally.
Which brings us back to building systems rather than depending on individual virtue.
Exactly. What kind of systems create trust and respect? Systems that are predictable, fair, and responsive to legitimate needs.
Predictable how?
People know what to expect from their government and can plan accordingly.
Fair how?
Same rules apply to everyone, regardless of wealth or status.
Responsive how?
Government adapts to changing circumstances and changing needs. Those three characteristics might sometimes conflict with each other. They might. That's where judgment comes in.
Whose judgment?
Collective judgment, involving as many stakeholders as practical.
Which brings us back to democratic decision-making processes.
Which brings us back to letting people have meaningful voices in decisions that affect them.
You keep returning to that principle.
Because it's the principle that underlies everything else I believe about governance. What if people make bad decisions when given those meaningful voices? What if they make better decisions than distant experts who don't understand their situations?
Both could be true in different circumstances.
Then we design systems that maximize the chances of good decision-making.
How?
Education, information access, deliberation processes that encourage thoughtful consideration.
That sounds like a lot of infrastructure to create and maintain.
Less infrastructure than is required to suppress people who feel they have no voice. You think democratic participation reduces social conflict? I think meaningful participation reduces the kind of desperate conflict that tears societies apart.
What about other kinds of conflict?
Productive conflict over ideas and approaches is healthy.
As opposed to destructive conflict over basic dignity and survival?
Exactly.
So you're trying to channel conflict into constructive rather than destructive forms?
I'm trying to address underlying causes of conflict before they become destructive. That seems like wise governance. It seems like basic human decency.
Which has been notably absent from this kingdom's governance for decades.
Which is why we have so much work to do.
But work that you're genuinely excited about doing.
Work that we're genuinely excited about doing together.
Together being the key word.
Always. Now, I really think we need to rest. Agreed. But first, let's take care of those prisoners.
Right now?
Right now.
It's the middle of the night.
They've been waiting in darkness for years. A few more hours would be unconscionable.
You're right.
I'll organize the healers and supplies.
I'll coordinate with the guards for security. I'll handle administrative documentation.
Perfect.
Let's go bring them into the light.
Literally and metaphorically.
The best kind of rescue. This is going to set the tone for everything else we do. Good. I want our first act as a government to be one of mercy and justice.
Mercy and justice together.
The way they should be.
Always together.
Always.
Let's go change some lives.
Let's go save some lives. And begin saving a kingdom. Together.
The prisoners are asking questions about what's happening to them.
What kind of questions?
Whether this is some kind of trick, whether they're being moved to a worse prison.
They don't trust that they're actually being freed? Would you trust it after years of abuse?
I suppose not.
What are you telling them?
That the former king is gone and a new government is taking over.
And they believe that?
Some do. Others think it's an elaborate test or punishment.
Then we need to prove it through our actions, not our words.
How?
By treating them better than they've been treated in years.
The healers are reporting severe malnutrition in most of the prisoners.
How severe?
Some of them can barely walk.
Then we carry them if necessary.
The healers want to treat them in the infirmary.
Whatever they need. What about the ones who are asking about their families? What about them?
They want to know if their families are safe, if they even know what happened to them.
Do we have that information?
Some of it. Many families were told their relatives had died or fled the kingdom.
So these people have been mourned as dead?
For years, in some cases.
Then reuniting them with their families is going to be complicated. How so? Imagine finding out that someone you've grieved for years is actually alive.
That could be traumatic as well as joyful.
Which is why we need to handle these reunions very carefully.
Should we contact the families immediately?
Not until the prisoners are physically and emotionally stable enough to handle reunion.
Some of them are asking to see their families tonight.
And we need to explain why that's not in their best interest yet. They might not understand or accept that explanation. Then we help them understand, patiently and compassionately.
What if they insist on immediate contact?
Then we find safe ways to provide limited contact while protecting everyone involved.
Limited contact how?
Written messages, perhaps. Something that confirms they're alive without overwhelming anyone.
That makes sense.
What about the prisoners who don't have families to contact? We help them rebuild connections and create new support systems.
How?
Through community integration programs, counseling services, job training if they want it.
You're talking about comprehensive rehabilitation.
I'm talking about comprehensive human care.
That's going to require significant resources.
Then we'll allocate significant resources. From where? From the funds we're recovering from corrupt officials.
You're using stolen wealth to help the victims of the system that created that wealth?
Exactly.
That's poetic justice.
It's practical justice.
What about the prisoners who might actually be guilty of crimes?
They get the same care and rehabilitation opportunities as everyone else. Even if they're dangerous, we provide appropriate security while still treating them humanely.
What determines appropriate security?
Professional assessment by people trained in both security and psychology.
Not by people who are afraid or angry about past crimes.
Definitely not by people who are emotionally compromised.
You want objective professional judgment?
I want informed professional judgment guided by humanitarian principles. What if the professionals disagree about security needs? Then we get additional professional opinions and err on the side of both safety and dignity.
Both simultaneously?
It's possible to be both safe and humane.
The former king didn't think so.
The former king was wrong about most things.
What about long-term housing for these people?
What about it? Where will they live once they're ready to leave the infirmary? Wherever they choose to live.
Some of them might not have homes to return to.
Then we help them find new homes.
In the community or in institutional settings.
In whatever settings best meet their individual needs and preferences.
You're going to let them choose?
Of course we're going to let them choose. What if they make choices that seem unwise? Then we provide information and support while respecting their autonomy.
Even if their choices put them at risk?
We provide protection without overriding their decision-making authority.
That's a delicate balance.
Most humane approaches are delicate.
What about the broader implications of this prison discovery?
What do you mean? If the former king had one secret prison, he might have had others. That's a terrifying thought.
And one we need to investigate thoroughly. Should we begin searching for other hidden facilities immediately?
Yes, but systematically. We don't want to miss anything.
How do we search systematically?
Palace blueprints, architectural surveys, interviews with former staff who might know about secret spaces. What if we find more prisoners? Then we rescue them too.
What if we find evidence of worse atrocities?
Then we document everything and ensure justice for all victims.
This investigation could take months.
Then it takes months.
What if the investigation reveals crimes that implicate people who are still in government?
Then those people are removed from government and face appropriate consequences. Even if removing them creates administrative chaos? Especially if removing them creates administrative chaos.
Why especially?
Because administrative chaos is temporary. Moral corruption is permanent unless it's addressed.
You really prioritize ethics over efficiency in every case.
I prioritize long-term integrity over short-term convenience.
Which you believe ultimately serve efficiency better.
Which I know ultimately serves everything better. What about situations where ethical choices lead to significant harm? Such as?
If removing corrupt officials prevents important services from being delivered,
then we find other ways to deliver those services while maintaining ethical standards.
what if there aren't other ways in the short term?
Then we develop other ways as quickly as possible.
And accept temporary service disruption rather than tolerate corruption?
Yes. That's a strong position. It's a necessary position.
Why necessary?
Because tolerating corruption to avoid disruption just enables more corruption.
And eventually the corruption becomes more disruptive than cleaning it up would have been.
Exactly.
Like what happened in this kingdom over the past decades.
Exactly like that. So, short-term pain prevents long-term disaster? When the short-term pain is caused by addressing real problems, yes.
What about short-term pain that's caused by creating new problems?
Then we stop creating new problems.
How do you distinguish between necessary disruption and unnecessary disruption?
By looking at whether the disruption serves justice and long-term stability.
Justice and stability sometimes conflict.
Apparent stability that's built on injustice isn't real stability. It's just delayed instability. It's often much worse instability when it finally arrives.
Because the underlying problems have grown worse while being ignored?
And because people lose faith in the possibility of peaceful change.
Leading to violent change?
Leading to desperate change.
Which is usually more destructive than planned change.
Almost always more destructive. So, addressing problems early, even if it's disruptive, prevents more destructive changes later? That's been my observation.
And your experience?
My experience confirms that ignoring injustice makes it worse.
Is that why you chose to return from death?
That's part of why I chose to return.
What was the other part?
The belief that positive change is possible if people work together with clear principles. And we're testing that belief now. We're proving that belief now.
You sound very confident.
I sound very determined.
What's the difference?
Confidence assumes success. Determination commits to effort regardless of outcome.
And you're committed to the effort?
Completely. Even if the effort fails to achieve everything you hope for? Even then.
Why?
Because the effort itself has value, regardless of outcomes.
Value how?
It demonstrates that someone cared enough to try. It creates possibilities for future efforts. It honors the victims of injustice.
Even failed efforts can have positive effects?
Especially failed efforts that were made for the right reasons. How so? They show future generations what's possible and inspire continued efforts.
You're thinking about legacy again.
I'm thinking about continuity.
The idea that this work will continue beyond your lifetime?
The idea that this work is bigger than any individual lifetime.
That's a humbling perspective.
It's a liberating perspective. Liberating how? It means success doesn't depend entirely on my personal capabilities.
Because others will continue the work?
Because the work itself creates conditions for others to continue it.
If you build the right foundations?
If we build the right foundations together.
Together again.
Always together. Speaking of foundations, shouldn't we check on the prisoners again? Yes. I want to see how they're doing personally.
Some of them might not want to see the new queen.
Then I'll respect their wishes and check on them indirectly.
What if they do want to see you, but don't trust their own judgment about whether it's safe?
Then we'll give them time and space to make that decision freely.
No pressure either way.
No pressure either way. That's very respectful. It's basic human dignity.
Which has been notably absent from their recent experiences.
Which makes it even more important now.
Let's go see how they're doing.
Quietly and unobtrusively.
Respectfully.
Always respectfully. The way it should be. The way it will be from now on.
Under your government.
Under our government.
Together.
Together.
For as long as it takes.
For as long as it takes to get it right. And then for as long as it takes to keep it right. Exactly.
That's a lifetime commitment.
It's a commitment that extends beyond any single lifetime.
But that starts with us.
But that starts with us, tonight.
Then let's go start it properly.
Let's go honor the commitment we've made. To justice.
To compassion. To each other.
To the future we're going to create together.
Starting now.
Starting now.